Run. Get out.
No. No. I want to hear you say it. That you're gonna kill me if I don't let them turn me into something different. Something easy. Something clean.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Greg and Ryan here for another breakdown of Legion. This is the season finale.
Guys, we just finished the episode right now and we have a ton to get to. Beware, there are obvious spoilers ahead, but make sure first that you're subscribed to GameSpot Universe for all your TV show breakdowns. We have a Westworld season finale coming up, then we're gonna jump into Preacher, and we might do a little bit on Luke Cage.
Okay, let's get started right from the top. The big fight, we knew it was coming. And it was a dance-off. I had a dream the day before, like this whole episode could be a musical, and I would be okay with it. And it started off that way. I loved it.
It's perfect for Legion, right? It's all the dance routines, a little psychic sing-off right here to get us started in this episode, and it was an awesome little fight in the astral plane between David and Farouk. Now that song, of course, is by The Who, Behind Blue Eyes, and that soundtrack is pretty much perfect for David and his whole story. We also noticed the different colors that were used during this sequence.
Yeah, the colors are green and red, but earlier in the season we're told that we shouldn't trust these colors.
Right.
And so like you got green and red, good versus evil, evil versus good, evil versus evil, up is down, we don't know.
The lines are clearly blurred between who is the hero, who is the villain, and that's the whole point of this whole sequence right here.
So right when Farouk has David in his hands, it looks like he's on the line, looks like he's on the ropes, it's almost over, even though it's the first 4 minutes of the episode, so he's obviously not gonna die.
Yeah.
Lenny comes in for the save with the help of the choke.
Yeah, what a clutch performance, huh? We didn't get a whole lot of Lenny throughout the season, but when she does show up, you know, she makes the performance worth it, and she came through in the clutch, saving David in that time, and they used the choke in order to basically mitigate any of the mutant powers in the area. So then he can just bash him in the head with a rock.
Yes, and then he puts the rock down to punch him.
Yeah.
When you should just use the rock.
Yeah, the rock. Yeah, use that.
Just finish him off. That's all you got to do, man. It's like just one more, like one hit, just one more. I think that'll do it. That's all you need.
It is kind of weird though, having two psychics battle in hand-to-hand fight.
Yes.
It's like they're two psychics, two of the strongest psychics out there, and it came down to a fist fight.
It's as if he forgot how to. He's like, what do I do with this thing again?
Yeah,
I've been fighting too long with my mind. So this rock thing, let me just put it down and fist now. Okay, sure.
We were just losing too much here.
Time.
It was time that we were losing, my beloved and I.
All right, so then we fast forward 3 years later, a complete time jump from where we were, and it looks like we're on the astral plane with Oliver and Melanie, and they're back in that igloo.
Yes, he managed to get Melanie out of there.
Yep.
Once he got separated from Farouk, after we saw at the end of the last episode. Cool, but that time jump tells me that they're very much apart from what's going to happen in the future, possibly.
Yeah.
Unless they do a time jump 2-3 years in the future in the next season, but we'll get to that later. I'm curious of how this scene went down, if it was added in.
Oh, and Sydney. Don't forget Sydney.
I had forgotten Sydney.
Oh, what happened to her was so sad.
Very sad.
A couple details we also learned from the past 3 years. The world did end, civilization as we know it, and also David did turn, and something horrible happened to Sid. You know, she was betrayed by David, which we were alluded to before in previous episodes. So the ultimate horrible thing that we were all wary about, it actually happened in this timeline at least.
Yes. So going forward, Noah Hawley always said that David's character is a tragic character. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious if going forward we now know, it's like the Titanic, the ship's going to crash at some point.
Right.
I wonder if this is just David and everything we've seen so far with these characters is still going to lead down the path of him becoming Legion and ending the world in this storyline.
Yeah, totally. And not to get too ahead of ourselves, but season 3 might be a very dark season if this is ultimately how it all ends up.
We need to talk.
Sure. Let me just finish killing this asshole.
So Sid shows up, with a gun, and she's got it pointed not at Farouk, she's got it pointed at David, and I thought they were going to have a reverse with this. I thought there was going to be some kind of twist.
Yeah.
There wasn't. She was actually, everything that Melanie said / Farouk got to her, and now she believes David truly is the monster just from watching footage of FX Presents Legion on little screens.
Yeah, Sid is really easily manipulated, it comes across. She's not very strong in her convictions. She can be swayed easily by the Shadow King and totally flips on David and says that he's not the person that he was. He's not a hero, he's not a good guy.
I saw your face, your true face.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the guy is also, he lost his sister. He lost a lot of people close to him. Farouk did kill people. He is a monster, that's obvious. And David's acting in a way that he thinks is justified.
Yeah, there were tiny subtle hints of Seven, there was no box with a head in it, but Farouk did murder his sister, so there you go, and now he's beating him down. Tiny, but...
Wherever you stand on the moral issues of killing a person, I mean,
exactly.
He's a powerful psychic mutant that, he deserves to, justice deserves to be brought against him.
Yes, in mutant crimes, this is, you're dealing with a literal monster here.
Yes. Put it this way, we don't care if you kill Farouk. We would probably want you to kill Farouk.
Yeah.
You know me.
Yeah, I do. And guess what? You're not the hero.
Who is?
Me.
Then we get one of the most meta Legion moments ever. David's in his childhood bedroom with multiple other Davids, multiple personalities. This is real Legion stuff right now. And he's watching TV, watching Legion, FX, John Hamm narrated vignettes on the TVs.
So there's your John Hamm cameo. I thought there were going to be a little bit more with John Hamm in this one more speech, but I think the second he destroyed his delusion in his head, that's when the speeches kind of stopped. So then David's shown his real delusion, apparently, that he deserves love.
That he's a good person and he deserves love.
Yes. It scared me for a second that that delusion was actually Sid. The first time you thought, okay, is Sid the delusion here? Did he make her up? Which he still could. There's another season here, so they could evolve this a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it was about love. And David's search for that, apparently.
Yeah, and I still think you can also interpret it that not only did David believe that delusion, but he then had, if the people are actually real people around him, Sid and Ptonomy and all these people, he kind of, made them fall for it as well.
Yeah.
That he's a good person, that he deserves to be treated in this way, that he deserves to fall in love with somebody, and they all kind of fell for it. They didn't really know the real David.
We also get a cool little name drop from the comics.
Special. A mutant. Omega.
Now, Omega was first referenced in 1986 Uncanny X-Men number 208.
Yeah, it's basically, the type of level, the class of mutant, how powerful David is.
Another stage.
Exponential, godlike powers, can bend reality, can change whatever you're thinking, can make you do things. He's
Jean
strong
Grey.
as hell.
No, you don't know what it's like to be afraid to shut your eyes, to be trapped inside your own head.
Oh, I think I do. It wasn't so long ago that I was plagued by voices myself. All their suffering, all their pain, their secrets.
There's a consistent theme that we've seen both in season 1 and season 2, when David has these moments where he has to kind of find out the true face. What is his true self? I don't know if we've actually seen it over the course of 2 years. We don't really know who he is. You see him when he's taking pleasure in hurting somebody, or he's in a loving moment with Sid. What is the real David?
Me.
Oops.
And then Lenny comes in for the save with that clutch shot. Apparently, I don't know where she learned. Where did she learn her sniper skills?
She's a world-class sniper.
Okay, all right, sure. That we're gonna get some interesting backstory. I think season 3 with Lenny on this. I hope.
I honestly was getting some Predator vibes. When Carl Weathers gets his arm shot off.
Oh no.
I thought she was gonna aim to try to kill Sid.
But she had both hands up. That's what
But she was gonna hit the arm, and then the gun is on the ground, laying there, and David's saved, but no, that didn't happen. We'll have to wait till season 3 to find out how Sid loses her arm, I guess.
And then we get to the most disturbing part of the episode, I think.
Disturbing's right.
Yeah. It starts off with David trying to Superman 2 the memories away from Sid, wiping her memory. And then from that point, he, instead of telling her why he did it or anything, he just continues on with his day. And
It was a bad dream. It was a bad dream, Sid.
And then even more messed up, he decides to take advantage of her physically in her altered mental state.
Yeah, it was completely disturbing. I found this part horrifying. David, he says that he's a good person. A good person does not do that, David. She's vulnerable, she's not in control, and you took advantage of that and pretty much forced yourself on her at this moment. So, not a fan of David at this point.
Yeah, and then at the same time, too, I thought maybe is this the other David, the one that was sitting in the chair, the one that was already saying a few
Competing
things.
forces inside of him
Yeah.
kind of taking control and determining what he's going to do in the real world.
It doesn't matter. It was still David at the end of the day, so that was probably, there are going to be some head scratching for that scene going forward and for season 3 of what they deal with, this kind of scenario.
Yeah.
So after these screwed up events, David visits Farouk.
Yeah. Kind of just to gloat
Yeah.
and put it in his face that I'm gonna piece out of here, and I won, you lost.
At this point, the audience knows that, well, that's probably not going to happen.
Right.
And then Farouk tells him that, no, that's not the way things work, and I'm going to make it out of this alive.
Sid is gonna find out the truth, and he better come clean.
And he does not. So then Farouk enlists the help of Remy from Ratatouille.
You've been watching way too much Pixar, dude.
Just a little bit. No one's watched way too much Pixar. You can't get enough of Pixar.
That's a good point.
So he whispers to the little mouse the secrets. Some secret of what happened.
Yeah.
And that little mouse scurries away, finds its way to Sid's bedroom, and then whispers into her ear. So the last time we saw a little mouse in this show was obviously in episode 6, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Slave to Love. So that's kind of cool that Sid literally is the slave to love here in a little bit.
So we're reminded once again, one of the major themes of this show in both season 1 and 2, the competition of truths, the truth of the mind versus the truth of the heart. For David, he believes he's a good person.
Yes.
He believes he's in love, he deserves love, but we find out that that might be a delusion, that the truth of reality, what people perceive him as, how people treat him, what they see him do, his actions, that's the real truth. And I think it all comes back to unreliable narrators. David, for a large part, is telling the story, or we're at least seeing it through his eyes, and we don't know what to trust. That's the whole point of dealing with a super powerful mutant that also has mental issues. We don't know what's real, what's fake. He feels something inside, but that's not necessarily mean it doesn't make it true.
So then finally the season ends with, we thought was going to be one big battle at the end with Farouk and David one more time. It ends with a court case, apparently, or someone on trial. I just wanted one note here. I felt like when they had everyone come in and sit down and David walks in, I wanted that little mouse to come in there too and get on the table or something.
Not look at David,
and
look away.
And just like.
So we find out that David is the one on trial, not Farouk, and that they're going to try him for future crimes.
Because that's a good idea. Yeah.
So it's Minority Report with mutants.
Yep.
David again brings up this idea that he's a good person and that he deserves love. To which Sid replies and challenges him that no, he's not a good person, he's done horrible things in his life, and he actually raped her, so to speak. There's no arguing against that in David's case. And also, even Farouk challenges him on this idea of love and forcing your love upon someone.
Trust me, Juno. You can't make someone love you. I've tried.
With who? Your toadies?
No. With you. For 30 years since you were a baby. My baby.
I found this exchange pretty interesting because we've not heard Farouk talk about their relationship in that context at all. That he has some sort of feelings towards David as maybe a surrogate son, kind of. And I don't know if Farouk is telling the truth here. He's probably still trying to manipulate David even in this moment.
He's trying to survive.
Right. He's looking out for his own survival. But clearly, from what we've seen throughout the season, Farouk does consider David an equal.
Yeah.
A, surrogate son, so to speak, in this case. David was filled with rage. He was hurt. He was sick back in his early years. Farouk did some harm and haunted him for a long time. But maybe he was trying to make the environment a little bit more manageable for him. We don't really know the context because, to be honest, we can't really trust David's point of view in this. His idea and his narration of the story might not be the truth.
No.
So it is an interesting idea, and it kind of reminded me of the relationship between Thanos and Gamora. Sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen the movie yet, and if you haven't seen the movie yet, what the hell are you doing? In Infinity War, obviously, Thanos has to sacrifice Gamora. He throws her off the ledge. He's crying, he's emotional over that he actually did love her. So I thought, what if Farouk actually does have this type of connection with David?
Like a father, because he's been with him since he was a child.
Right, and he even said,
on him.
one thing he said was, my baby. It really hit me. It was like, he has this attachment to David. We thought it was a very negative attachment, that it was a very harmful attachment. But maybe it's quite the opposite.
So we got this self-fulfilling prophecy, basically, where no matter what they do, no matter how they try to change things, they're still going down the path that they're always going to go down from future Sid, and he's going to turn evil.
Yeah, they're directing him, every single time they tell him he's evil, making him believe he's evil, they're literally turning him like we're watching the moment where they're turning him evil. They're pushing him into that direction.
You're just putting gasoline on the fire.
Yeah. So we begin the episode and the season with Legion the World Killer on the loose with Lenny.
Peace.
And, all they can really do now is pray.
Well, they're going to be praying to him because apparently he thinks he's a god, so there you go.
Good job, guys. All right, time now for our favorite moments. I think you and I agree there's only one choice for this.
The opening sequence with the fight and the music.
No one knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man.
I just think that Legion does an incredible job with these fight sequences that are different than any other type of superhero fight sequence. A lot of that is a lot of special effects and great big battles and showing all the powers off. And sometimes these are like really subtle. It's a dance or a song, or and also there's sharks and helicopters. But it's very creative ways to show conflict.
Also, huge shout out again to Naveed Negabon because he was incredible this season, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do in season 3 because there's no way there's going to be a season 3 without him.
Oh, he has to be in season 3. I think he was one of the highlights of season 2, easily. A very charismatic.
My favorite character.
Yeah, very charismatic character, an amazing actor, and it makes you kind of want to root for him at some point.
They would be foolish not to bring him back for the 3rd season. I can't see that happening. He's got to come back. Okay, any last questions that we have for this season? What do we got?
I think the biggest question is why the hell would they let Farouk out of the holding cell? Like, why give him his body? Why let him just waltz into the court, and then just sit there like he's just totally chilling? He's a free dude.
The man can go like this, snap his finger, and end everyone.
David's in that sphere, that force field. So should Farouk. Farouk should be in his own.
They should have rolled him in there in Silence of the Lambs and had him strapped up.
These two are so powerful, they can't trust any of them. We've seen Amal Farouk manipulate everyone on the show.
Yeah.
Literally. I think almost everyone on the show. And not to mention kill Amy, David's sister, body swap.
The reason I think they let Farouk go is so they can have just that one shot of him sitting in the chair watching David locked up in the cage. So they can have that hero-villain reversal shot. It was so forced.
I'm with you. I thought it was so forced to try to get that, the role reversal between these two that it didn't work for me.
It was jarring. There's no way. There's nothing.
No one in their right mind would let a man this powerful, a mutant this powerful, just go freely.
This is you.
Nigel. Seeing you like this, what you have become. The sweet boy undone by revenge.
Next up, is there going to be a time jump? Yeah. Because we saw with Oliver and Melanie 3 years into the future. So that kind of tells us that if they just continue on from where we just left off in season 2, there's no Oliver and Melanie then to be seen this entire go.
Right, and let's be honest, they weren't really using Melanie good enough in this show. She was wasted, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see them again.
I think they're
in
gone.
Season 3. I think they're gone. I do think that I don't think they're going to pick up immediately after. I think they're going to wait maybe 6 months to a year after. Pick up Lenny and David on the road, and they're searching for maybe Professor X.
Now, wouldn't Sid be the one searching for Professor X? And also, Professor X is not going to show up.
Professor X has to show up in this show because it's been hyped and teased for so long since the first season. Professor X has to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Please, make it happen.
If anything happens, maybe again, another season finale of season 3, they may say his name again. But now I feel like this is Farouk that has to stop him.
I just really feel like David needs to find out who his father is. Like he needs to figure that out.
Me too.
He doesn't even know who he is at this point. He is so lost. He has no idea who he is. He thought he was in love. He thought this person loved him back. He thought these people were people he could trust. He's literally unhinged, and he needs some type of solid person in his life to kind of bring him back.
Now, isn't Professor X then too much of a Deus Ex conundrum you got going on here? Because he honestly can come in and fix this quickly.
Yeah.
He can walk in, say, I'm your father. I didn't know that you were even around. I never knew I even had a son in the first place. All these things with Farouk. I can teach you these problems. I deal with mutants like this. I can fix this. Mm-hmm. I don't see the writers doing that because then where do you go with the show right after that?
I totally get you, and I'm not even suggesting that they make him do all those things.
Yeah.
I just want to see him.
Also, we didn't get anything on Patanomy, which has me a little worried again for season 3 with his character, because I don't think that was not a promising look to end.
Yeah, and that sucks because I thought he was a really good character and a really great actor. Like I enjoyed Patanomy's scenes. Yeah. And he's just like up in the computer now, and we'll never see him again.
Should we do any final predictions here? I think I can. I have one. I have one. I believe that we're gonna see full-on Legion next season. And yes, we're going to have another battle with Farouk. And X-Men's showing up. I think we're going to get more X-Men characters this time around.
Wow, interesting. I would love to see it. I don't know if Noah Hawley will bring any more comic book characters into the show. They like to kind of stay a little bit away from the comics and distance themselves from some of the movies.
The ratings.
But that's true. They do need some help with the ratings. So, I actually will... I'm going to enjoy kind of Dark David, let's say.
Me too.
I kind of like to see this side of him, and I think that Dan Stevens does a really good job when he goes full on Legion on us, and he's not kind of in between different roles. I enjoy when he realizes and assumes all the powers that he has in that character, and he's totally badass. So I think that it'll be a fun, exciting, extremely dark upcoming season, but I'm all on board.
Hey, also, style over substance. Give us just that script. Make it a little tighter, because everything else, the look, perfect. Do not change that next season. Give us more. Make it weirder. I'm fine with that. Make it as weird as possible. Just hone in on your characters. That's all I want.
Totally agree. The visuals are gorgeous. The sound is awesome. The music they pick, the acting is great.
Yeah.
But we just need a little bit more of that plot and that like story and really developed characters.
Yeah. Like we got these episodes with Sid in the maze, and the episode with his sister where you're hit over the head with these characters to let us know they're important. Let us know they're important by just integrating them more into the story itself.
Yeah, too many times we like deviated from the main story of this season, the main direction, just to go kind of, hey, reminder, this is this person. Reminder, here's this person. Just make it coherent in one big direction, one big story arc that we could all just kind of get into.
Yes. The hunt for Farouk's body was the main story arc this season, but it fell down some pit holes around the way to the point when it finally got to the end. You didn't know what to believe, and also you didn't really care.
Guys, thank you so much for watching all season long with us. Let us know what you thought of the season finale in the comments below, and also any predictions you might have for season 3.
Yeah, let us know any other videos you want us to cover on Legion 2 while you're at it.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.